Jorge Bonilla announced a stance, I believe, against comprehensive immigration reform. As somebody who has long been frustrated with the immigration reforms that have already happened and are in place, I wanted to hear how this strategy is different and responses from the other candidates.
Since you directed that question directly
Sure,
at
I'll
you,
take it.
I'll go here.
I'll take it. Well, it's different because I'm not suggesting, first of all, I'm not suggesting a 2,000 plus piece of legislation passed in the dead of night that has a lot of things that are hidden, that is like Obamacare for the border. We have to pass it first so that we know what's in it, that has phones for undocumented immigrants, that has money for radical organizations like Casa Maryland, like National Council of La Raza, and all these other organizations. I'm not suggesting that at all, which was what was in the Group of 8 bill that my opponent here on the far left lobbied for and supported and went to Washington, D.C. and championed, and when it passed, set up a Facebook post that said, "Thank you, Marco Rubio." What I want is very simple. Enforce the borders, follow the law, reform the visa system, and Congressman Dennis Ross has a bill already in place that would work beautifully in that regard, and then we have a democratic conversation about everything else. That's what I support vis-a-vis a monster of a bill that nobody has time to read and God knows what's in it. I would prefer that we have an act of love toward the rule of law. Thank you.
So once again, the far left is here. I appreciate that reference. Yes, I've advocated in DC for the last few years with the National Latino Evangelical Coalition, over 4,000 churches. Dr. David Youth, who is our pastor from First Orlando here, was a part of that group as well. So there are many folks here in this community who are advocating for fairness, for what is right. And I'm not talking about breaking the law. I'm talking about moral issues of families being broken up, which some of you will never experience and don't know what that's all about. Personally, I am Puerto Rican. I was born in New York. I'm an American citizen first because we are American citizens, and that's who I am. So I have no qualms with saying anything about immigration because it doesn't affect me directly, but indirectly. Working at a church where I've seen families destroyed, I've seen people with overstayed visas with no answers for them. We need to have answers for them, and that is why I want to be there. I want to make sure that we do the right thing for our people.
I am fully in support of comprehensive immigration reform. Not one that includes amnesty, but one that includes what is right for today and for the future of this nation. Now, as the executive of over 1,900 members at the Osceola County Association of Realtors, only 56% of my membership was born in the United States. So I get to hear real life stories day in and day out of what people go through to be here. And I can tell you that there are people from the Philippines, from Venezuela, that treasure the freedom that we have. And they want an opportunity to come here and be Americans because they have lost their country, and they have lost their country in a short amount of time because they weren't able to do what you're doing. They didn't have the forethought, and they stepped up.